Welcome to today's encouragement. Are you struggling to lean into your future because you're carrying something heavy from your past? That can be incredibly difficult. For instance, I think of financial debt. Sometimes we buy something or get something because we need it or want it, but we don't have the funds for it, so we get a loan. Perhaps it's with our credit card. We go out on a whim and buy some crazy stuff and end up up to our eyeballs in debt. Or maybe it's a home and you have a mortgage or a car or student loan. Maybe you're paying off a student loan. Have you noticed how hard it is to move into your future because you're paying off your past and you're carrying that day by day by day? And it would be so awesome to be free from your financial debt. That's even more true when it's relational debt. Do you know what I mean when I talk about relational debt? Let me give you an example. Perhaps from your past there's been a situation, a conversation or event in your life, and words were exchanged with a person that was very meaningful to you. And y'all said things and got into an argument, or something happened and your feelings were hurt, you were offended, and that meaningful relationship went south and went awry, and you ended up with pieces of that relationship just scattered across the floor, and you decided just to move on. And yet you really didn't, because the relationship is still scattered across the floor like a broken vase. And you haven't really gone further. What you've done is that you've accustomed your life to carrying that relational debt, and you're used to living that way. And it's hard and it's difficult, but yet you don't even notice. Wouldn't you like to be free of that? Wouldn't you like to no longer carry the heaviness of that relational debt and be able to lean into your future without that, bringing that into where you're wanting to go? It can happen. It's a simple act, a choice that you and I can make to be free from the relational debt. And it's called, that's right, forgiveness. Forgiveness is releasing your hurt, releasing your offense from the person that caused it. And it's not setting them free, because forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person. It has everything to do with you, because the hurt is in you. And when you forgive and you let go of that offense and let go of that hurt, what you're doing is you're setting yourself free from that moment, from that situation or that conversation. And you're no longer carrying that past into your future. Now, it's important for me to note that forgiveness is not an emotion. It's a volitional choice that you choose to forgive. And sometimes you have to tell yourself, wait, I forgave that person. And sometimes you have to tell yourself every day, wait, I forgave that person. Because you're telling yourself, forgiveness is the choice I made. It's the step I wanted to take because I wanted to lean into my future instead of carrying my past. So when you volitionally choose to do that every day, here's what happens. You become a person of forgiveness. And a person of forgiveness is the most free person in the world, who can lean into the future and choose the future they want to travel. Now, let me be clear. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. There are some people you need to forgive, but you don't need to be reconciled to them. It's better for you to move on without them, because there's a toxic nature about them perhaps, and it's caused that hurt and it's given you that heaviness. You don't need to carry their heaviness. You carry your own and let go of that which they're trying to give and impart to you. Several years ago, I heard the story of a monk and his novice who were traveling through the woods, and they on the trail, and they came to a stream, and standing at this fairly large, I guess it's fairly deep stream, was a woman. And she said, I cannot cross this stream. She says, I'm headed to a celebration and I'm afraid my dress will get wet, and that would be terrible. She said, but even more, I'm afraid that I might slip and fall and I possibly could drown. And the monk and the novice looked at each other, because in their tradition, monks are not allowed to even touch a woman. But the monk walked in front of the woman, looked at her, and then bent over, as if to say, climb on my back, I'll carry you over. And she did. She got on his back, he waded across the stream, carried her to the other side, dry and safe, sat her down, bowed respectfully, and he and the novice who followed behind him walked on down the trail. The novice is incredibly confused, like, what just happened? You're not even supposed to touch her, and here you're carrying this woman. And so he said, sir, and the monk turned around and he looked at him. He said, you just carried that woman. We're not even supposed to touch them. Why did you do that? And the monk looked at him and said, are you still carrying that woman? I set her down the river. Today I'm wondering, what do you need to set down at the river? What do you need to let go of? A conversation, an event, a person, a circumstance, a hurt. Maybe it's been there for maybe just a day or 2 or 3 or weeks or months or years, maybe decades, that you've been carrying your past. And one reason you can't move into the future you desire is because of that unforgiveness that you're carrying. Listen, it's not good for you. Forgiveness is an amazing and beautiful gift that you can give to yourself. As you become the person you were born to become, learn the gift of forgiveness. Use it wisely. Use it greatly. Use it regularly. And learn the life of forgiveness. Well, thanks for watching. I'm glad we're here. And I appreciate you sharing this with others. And let's help each other become the person we were created to become.